Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all to the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce 4th Agro Summit. The topic for today is transforming food processing sector through innovation and climate resilience initiatives, the road ahead. I would like to welcome Dr. Sudhanshu, the Secretary of Agriculture Agriculture and Processed Food Products Export Authority Development. It is APIDA, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. And I would also like to welcome Dr. Catherine Fiedler, who is the attaché with the US Embassy, and she is in charge of the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. Welcome you. And I would also like to welcome Mr. Chirag Jain, Partner and Food Processing Industry Leader from Grant Thornton. And I would also like to welcome Mr. Avin Agarwal, Director, Haldirams. Welcome to you all. As we all know, India is one of the largest growing economies in the world and is recognized as a global agriculture powerhouse. The country ranks second in the agriculture production, next only to China, with approximately $500 billion worth of agriculture production. And we are ranked number 1 in the milk production and number 2 in fruits and vegetables production. So with this vast wealth of agriculture products, food processing plays a critical role in India's economic development by connecting farmers to the consumers, reducing post-harvest losses, enhancing food quality and value-added products. India's food processing has witnessed a big growth due to the changing consumer habits, and also due to the e-retailing and e-commerce and also organized retail chains. We have started using food processed products. The government initiatives also in this sector, mainly the Ministry of Food Processing and other PM Sampada Yojana schemes, has accelerated the sector's development. But with the development, we also need to face the challenges which are being faced due to climate change, resource scarcity, food wastage, and increasing energy development requirements. We have to address these challenges with a strong focus on innovation and climate resilience. The current challenges in the food processing sector is mainly due to raw material availability due to the climate change, which affects the raw material availability, the vast water depletion which is happening because of the processing operations, and the energy cost is continuously increasing. You know, now due to the geopolitical disturbances, the energy cost is further increasing for all of us, and food losses during storage, transportation, and processing remain a major concern. The role of innovation plays an important part in the food processing sector through digitalization and automation, and of course, now with the latest trend of AI, where you can have the past history easily available to you in a matter of time. And also we have to use energy efficient technologies, advanced food preservation using cold chain technologies, and also waste heat recovery systems, and renewable energy must be tapped for the industry, because food processing needs a lot of energy and we should use renewable energy. And climate resilient initiatives should comprise of water conservation and recycling systems, reduction of greenhouse gases, and sustainable waste management and byproduct utilization. With this, I conclude my opening remarks and request Mr. Chirag Jain for his valuable insights and theme address on this topic. Over to you, Mr. Chirag. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the IACC team for inviting me and as a part of the opening remarks, as well as to moderate the session. It's a pleasure for me to be here. And I represent Grant Thornton Bharat. Grant Thornton is an advisory, a consulting firm which looks after a lot of initiatives in agriculture and allied sector. We have been fortunate to work with Government of India for implementing their various initiatives along with state government foundations, almost working with about 2 million women and men as agriculture farmers and transforming their life by impacting their income, helping them building infrastructure, climate resilience, ecosystem, and also supporting various corporates to build the whole supply chain piece. With this ideology and with this thought process, it's been today being World Environment Day as well. And we have seen that, environment for agriculture ecosystem is plays a very important role. For the last approximately 200-250 years, where sea level temperature has increased by about 1 degree Celsius. And this has been increasing every 2 to 3 decades by about 1 degree, which clearly demonstrates a lot of challenges which a farming ecosystem has. A lot of initiative which requires climate resilient ecosystem. There are challenges around less water drought situation. There are certain places which are flooded. India has to really create its own ecosystem, and the losses are expected to be a $1 billion. So that's the impact of the losses which can happen in case we are not able to address this situation. With this opening remark, we have a great speaker list of speakers probably as we go ahead. But before that, I would like to really talk about a couple of key initiatives which government intends to try, because we have been fortunate to work as a part of the policy advocacy on certain initiatives. The first and the foremost ecosystem which we are trying to drive as a part of the government consulting arm as well, how we can really bridge the gap between a corporate and the farmer. If you see, most of the farmers and the farmer producer organizations usually work with middlemen as a part of the ecosystem. There is hardly, and our studies suggest, which Grant Thornton did, approximately less than about 3 to 4% of the farmer directly sell to corporates or to the retail ecosystem, and they usually move through middlemen, which clearly indicates the value add which being done by the middle layer is significantly lesser as a contribution and more in the margins. And 95-97% of such products move across the country. So how we can really bridge this gap? Government of India, state governments are really working on some initiatives. And some of the initiatives, for example, one of such initiatives is called productive partnership. So under this particular framework, how we can really enhance a participation both from the corporate as well as the farmer to ensure this is not transactional. This is a long-term initiative which clearly indicates how corporate eventually work with the farmer to help a efficient, sustainable, and a long-term supply chain can be developed. Some of the examples we already have, Gherkins, for example, it's a 3,000 crore ecosystem which was being developed, and every farmer is directly connected with a processor. Grapes has its own story. Whatever the growth which we could achieve, that we are connected with processors, exporters, that's a whole story which has emerged. Some of the large chips manufacturers are also running the same story where each farmer is tagged, including their soil ecosystem, agri input story which they have been doing, and ensure that everything which does correctly, so that it's being consumed in a right informative manner. Every information is recorded into MIS level. With all those learnings, Government of India also initiated a program called Horticulture Cluster Development Program. And under this program, the idea is largely how we can ensure that farmers works better and stronger with the processor or a retailer. And a lot of assistance is also being given up to 100 crores. That's what the scheme program remains. And I'm sure a lot of processor and retailers would have been participated in this Agro Summit. So they should leverage this initiative, which is being run by National Horticulture Board. Similar initiatives also being run by Ministry of Food Processing under different various programs. So idea is, and government really wanted to have a focus to reduce the gap of working with farmer, with the corporates, not only on the processing side, but even the agri input side. Some of the agri input companies can eventually work with farmers and the FPOs so that the dimensions, the new dimensions and probably unrelated dimensions, which is being done by the distributors, dealers, they control that so that can be reduced. So a lot of efforts are being undertaken in this manner. And this is an initiative which I believe is very, very promising. And this can really create new opportunities for the country, not only from the domestic purpose, also from the export purpose. As you can see, in the meat sector, dairy sector, we have been very, very successful, and we could see the results of that. But there are so many other sectors which this dimension needs to be added. So I'll close my opening remarks with this thought process in place, and I would request. Uh, I'll take this opportunity to request now because I think Avin has to go and probably for some time. But Avin, I'll take this opportunity to invite you first, and I would like if you can introduce yourself and to the larger group and give opening remarks so that we can move forward. Thank you.
Hi, Chirag. Thank you so much for the invitation, and I'm really esteemed to be a part of this panel. And I belong to the Haldiram family. Been taking care of food processing for last 20 years myself, and the family is gone beyond 80 years of legacy now, taking care of the food business. So, I mean, what we are discussing is a very genuine problem, and this is something we have been facing every single day, that how do we uplift the entire society in general to make sure that food wastage and food conservation go hand in hand. So the problems is not just the supply chain end, it's also the efficiency of growing the food when it comes to a farmer level. What we as corporates are trying to do is make sure that we have good enough product at our end so that we can process it faster and we can try to churn maximum profits out of it, which as a corporate is our job. But what we are also trying to do is at the same time look at conservation of food, go to a zero wastage stage, go to a place whereby farmers and corporates can integrate as one people rather than being called two different people. It's unfortunate that, business houses are being called corporates and farmers are like, we are as common people as anyone else. And we want the country to grow together rather than only one class of people growing and the other class remaining at a very discomfort position. So all our workings and all our efforts are going towards zero food wastage and how we can integrate the farmer level uh, ideas into our systems so that the entire supply chain management, which is lacking unfortunately today, can become much better and the food wastage can go zero. We are second highest producing nation in the world, but are we able to consume the food we produce is the point. A lot of it goes to wastage according to my studies. So I feel that is where the first bench should be, where we are trying to manage the entire ecosystem in a way where the food wastage goes to zero. So that would be my opening remark, and I think Chirag, you would be better judge to take it this forward from here.
Yes, yes. I mean, thank you. And I'm sure a lot of people would have a lot of questions, and the participant can put their questions on this chat, and we can always have those questions. We can probably it will come. We'll take you that during the subsequent session, Avin. Now I'll take an opportunity
Thank
to.
you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Avin. I'll take this opportunity now to invite Catherine. So Catherine and together being in IACC and Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. So I think Catherine being here, I think it's really making sense for us. So very briefly, Catherine, she leads our South Asia Regional Director and she looks after the animal husbandry ecosystem, and I'm sure she will talk about more about herself. We are very happy, Catherine, you took some time and joined us today, and we would like to know from you, because you have been managing so many countries from the US perspective, how you see India growth story in the animal husbandry sector. That would be my quick question, and which you want you to put into your opening remarks as well. Over to you, Catherine.
Great. Thank you so much for that introduction, and thank you for the invitation and the honor of being the honorary guest here at your 4th Agro Summit. I originally had some challenges about speaking today because food processing is not the #1 part of my portfolio. My background is actually in horticulture and the regulation of fresh horticultural products between the US and our international partners. I do manage the South Asia portfolio, like you said, and cover both sanitary, so animal health, and phytosanitary measures for the US Department of Agriculture. Like I said, I focus on fresh horticultural products, but I promise no regulatory talk. My passion really is food. And so I want to give my perspective as a scientist, but also as an American working overseas on food, and especially Indian food. Food and agriculture here in India is an integral part of culture. And I believe agriculture and food production really deserves more attention on how we are evolving and changing with new trade rules, with new trade agreements, with global environmental changes. It's a challenge for both producers, farmers, and exporters. Of course, fresh produce and high-value horticultural crops are the goal. Premium products at a premium price. But many of India's high-value horticultural products have an incredibly short season. And utilizing processing methods are a way that we can gain market access for these rare seasonal products. And it gives Indian farmers the opportunity to extend that short season to year-round consumption. And it builds customer interest on the off-season. So as a regulator, my advice is to understand the trade rules and find those easy wins. Processed horticultural products have significantly lower risk of harboring pests, and generally they have market access already to the US. USDA resources, including staff like myself at the embassy and consulates, have all the regulatory information you need to understand the rules about exporting processed horticultural products. So a lower risk option for export would be frozen, canned, dried, or juice products. Even things like semi-processed spice mixes or dried prepared products. Beyond extending the seasonality for customers, processed products for high-value horticultural crops increase product usage and reduces waste, like was previously discussed. It is also a way to utilize the crops that are unmarketable as a fresh product due to visual defects or size requirements. But keep in mind that creating the product is not enough. We are in the business of selling food as well. We have to sell the image and the story behind the product. While I'm here in India, I'm always sharing with friends and family what I like eating and what they should try. So I'll give you my American perspective. Right now it's mango season, and mangoes are from all over the world. So when I talk about Indian mango products and wanting to encourage my family to try Indian mangoes, it isn't just mango. It should be Indian mango. It should be Gujarati Kesar. It should be Andhra Pradesh Bengnapali. So I quickly did some research and looked for Indian mango products on Amazon USA. And what did I see? I saw a single can of Kesar mango pulp, and the only mention of India was in the brand. I saw a few dried mango powders that also only identified as an Indian product in the brand or brand slogan. There was one product called Premium Dried Indian Amchur whole slices, but unfortunately, Americans don't know what is. So on the front label of all the products I found, I did not see the phrase product of India or Indian mango, but I did see it for other South Asian countries and Southeast Asian countries. Additionally, I couldn't find India in the description at all. So the current statistic running around the news is less than 1% of mangoes get exported, and probably a little above 1% when we consider mango products as well. While I'm here in India, I want to share your products with friends and family. So my plea to you today and in the coming months is this. Indian mango and other high-value horticultural products need to show their Indian pride, just as your people do. Fresh and processed Indian products can work together to bring the taste of India to the US. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to more of this kind of discussion in the panels.
Very, very valuable thoughts, Catherine, today to really see, India on the products, be it retail store or be it on Amazon. I think this is, I'm sure some of the listeners, those who are listening this, and as a matter of to really pick up as a point of while we are going to close the session at some point of time. So this is something a takeaway for us to ensure that whenever we go next in terms of both domestic ecosystem or export, I think we can drive our own taste and really have the value chain established so that our products can reach over there. And I'm sure whenever embassy feels that there is some role which IACC can do to bring of that kind of expertise for the embassy. So I'm happy to share those knowledge contents and all that which you can take up and also assist us to take this forward. I also now take this opportunity to invite a chief guest, Dr. Sudhanshu ji. So Dr. Sudhanshu ji, I think he has been a mentor. I've personally worked with him for quite some time. It's such a valuable contribution which he has really made to APIDA, which is an agri-export ecosystem for us in India. And Sudhanshu sir, if you are there, then can we see you? If you have joined.
Yeah. Good afternoon. I'm just putting on my putting on my camera.
Right. So very briefly, Sudhanshu sir has really worked with APIDA for almost like 35 years now. He has been a postgrad from Cornell University, studied computer applications as well, and a lot of expertise around global countries, and being part of APIDA, I think he has traveled almost all part of the world. Now, with this opening remarks, I would request Dr. Sudhanshu, if you can brief the panel as well as all the audiences which are there in terms of your opening remarks, and we would have a very quick 1 or 2 questions from you as well we would like to ask thereafter.
So, esteemed guest, Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh, the regional president for Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Mr. P. Sudhir Kumar. I may be excused some issue with the video camera, but just to save time, I have started. Director of Frick India Limited, Mr. Chirag Jain, partner Grant Thornton. Chirag ji, thank you very much for the brief introduction you have given. And Dr. Karten Fedler, attaché US Embassy, I was hearing to her and was really glad to hear about Indian mangoes. was looking like that she's from India, the way she was explaining about the mango and its value-added mango products. So, good afternoon, friends, all the participants and the representative of Indian-American Chamber of Commerce. And I would like to compliment the organizers for organizing this program, especially on the World Environment Day. And on the today's day, and with a meaningful topic, transforming the food processing sector through innovation and climate resilience. On the today's occasion, it becomes more meaningful to organize such a wonderful session, and very well moderated by my friend Chirag ji. We all know that India is an agrarian economy and is blessed with varied agroclimatic zones, with which country is able to produce all range of horticulture and agriculture crops. And when we say the agriculture and horticulture crops, so we have the sufficient raw material, and the immense opportunities are for value addition. Though we are in a process of having value-added products, lot of innovation is happening. I would just like to cite the capability of the country when the on the pursuance of the Indian government, this millet year was announced. And that time, no one thought about that from millet a number of products can be prepared, because only earlier the millet cookies or the millet savories were there. But no one thought of that we will come up with the product like millet noodles, millet pasta, and even millet ice cream. So in a short time, the country was able to come up with number of products. The thanks and credit goes to our processors. So beautiful range of products came up, and the agenda was to take millets to the main theme of the food in the restaurants and the hotels globally. This shows the capacity and capability both, though we have to go a long way in food processing when we say lot needs to be done. So when I was hearing to Catherine, so Catherine, the way she was talking about the mango products, the mango pulp and the mango amchur. So this was one product where we have from mango, the current mango season is going on, and we have the mango season for a period of almost 6 months. And it starts from one part of the country, from Konkan. It starts from mid of March and then through Gujarat, the Kesar variety of mangoes. From the southern, it is Banganpalli mango, and these are the table variety mango, and the processing variety, which is Totapuri, which almost contributes to 85% of mango pulp. And we have clusters for that. One is Chittoor and second is Krishnagiri. And in Konkan area also, the Chittoor and this Sindhudurg district. So though even Kesar variety and Alfonso are also used for processing purposes, and the blend is prepared for that. And with that, number of value-added products are prepared. So we have different natural clusters also, because in different parts of the country, different produce are grown. For example, pomegranate, we have clusters in different parts of the country. The pomegranate banana clusters we have. Potato in a few of the states where abundant production is there, different varieties of potatoes are also grown. And when we say about the horticulture crops, fruits and vegetable, so there are two basically, table variety and the processing variety. So in some of the cases, we have the, for example, processed potato, which is basically becoming now number of food processing units are coming. And earlier it was used to be a chicken and egg story. The farmer was not growing the processing variety because the processing plants were not there. But now, in the number of areas, the farmers have started growing because the investment, the food process, the potato processing plants are coming. And with respect to, because the theme is for the, when we say transformation for in the food processing sector through innovation and climate resilience. So number of initiatives are being taken by the government through its concerned line ministries And the role of APIDA is to basically promote the export of agriculture and processed food products from the country. And APIDA is responsible for 50% of agri exports, mainly fresh horticulture, processed food, animal products, and cereals. And in processed food, number of products are there where we are one of the largest producer and exporter as well. In case of animal products, if we say, because I think, Catherine, you will be aware about, because you represent the Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service from US, that India is one of the largest producer of bovine meat and one of the largest exporter also, having the cattle population, though we don't have the market access for due to the technical reasons, but we are quite hopeful that we will be able to get market access in future for our meat and meat products. When we say the entire animal product sector, dairy is also one of them, and dairy model of the cooperative dairy model, the Amul brand, is globally popular. So in cereals also, we have a lot of strength. Rice, not only basmati rice, which is popular globally, which is a GI variety of rice. We have non-basmati rice also, and every state there are few varieties which have a specific aroma and has its own characteristics for different kind of cuisine. Would like to, on this occasion, would like to cite just an example how we are from the government, how we are taking the initiative in customizing the product as per the requirement of the market. Recently, we came across that there is the shortage, or we should not say the shortage, there is a need for rice supplies in Japan few months back. So we collaborated with the International Rice Research Institute, asked them in Japan market which varieties of non-basmati rice will be suitable. So they provided a catalog of 14 varieties. Those 14 varieties, we got the cuisine prepared, Japanese cuisine prepared through Japanese chef, got it tested from the Japanese citizens here, and then took a delegation of exporters from various states of those varieties and organized a rice promotion program in Japan. Out of the 14 varieties, 2 varieties were found suitable, which are basically suitable for the palate of Japanese cuisine. So with this, we are trying to make a strategy that it is not that whatever product we are having, we are not feeling that will be sellable as it is, but our industry, our exporters, our processors, they have understood that the customization as per the requirement of the importing country is required, whatever product is. So not in terms of the taste, or it has to be in terms of the proper packaging and the labeling requirement of the country also. So we always provide capacity building to our exporters across the country about whatever is the requirement of the importing country, especially this time, because it's a difficult time due to the West Asia war, this crisis time, where the logistics has become a challenge. So in this period also, we have worked with all the concerned stakeholders for arranging the whatever, whether it's at the Indian port or getting the shipment made, especially to the Middle East market through the various our High Commission, for example, in UAE, in Saudi, in Oman, how basically the produce required in these countries can reach there. And we are also exploring the possibility for the alternative routes also. So India has always been there whenever there is a crisis, whether it was a crisis during the COVID time or the crisis recently happened. We have always been so that the food is such an item which needs to be without any disruption. It should reach to the global market. So will not take much time. And with this, I would like to just say lot of opportunities are there in the agri and processing food sectors in the country, and with the help and support of the all concerned stakeholders, mainly the central and the state government agencies, especially the farmer, processor, exporter, and the other concerned stakeholders, definitely the mission of India to be a quality and reliable food supplier to the whole world, we will definitely be continuing our journey so that to become a robust supplier of agri products to the world. Once again, thank you very much to the organizers for organizing this, because the program for the, I think, panel discussion is also there. I would like to conclude my remarks. Thank you very much, and over to Chiragji.
Thank you, sir. I think it's a pleasure to always hear from you, and with such a thoughts which are probably where India is making presence and making contribution to the larger ecosystem. I think Apida is really playing a great role, and you have been mentor to a lot of us who has been doing this, some contribution around it. And I'm sure you would also like to appraise people some of the initiatives about funds and new innovative areas which you are doing, which are not being thought through. So if you would like to also give some understanding, because Haldiram and so many others can really work on those areas as we go forward, which is a more private sector driven initiative.
Thank you. I would like to just touch upon the 2 points. One is the innovative, the initiatives taken by Apida. One of the innovative initiative taken by Apida, because you all are aware that the government's mission is to provide support to farmer producer organization, farmer producer companies, the agri startups. So we have been providing support to these category of whether the group of farmers or the startups. So we have come up with a scheme called Bharati, where basically we have attempted to select 100 startups. So with the late process, we selected 100 startups, though the first 2 rounds were the online process, and third, then we organized a jury session, having the in each session we took the one of the representative from the investors category, second was the one of the brand from the processed food sector, and third from the academia. And we were able to select, and this program was launched 6 months back. And the idea was to select these startups in 3 categories. One is the innovative product, not the traditional product, wherever the innovation is there. So innovative product. Second category was tech-enabled solution. And third category, we took the SPS, addressing to this SPS pain point. SPS pain point, when we say the country has been struggling with some of the perennial problems. Just to give example, for example, in case of mango. So in mango, because there is an issue of a spongy tissue. So the mango looks like a very beautiful mango from outside, but due to the spongy tissue, when you cut it, it is spoiled from inside. So we thought we have been struggling with this since last number of years, and tried to collaborate with the institution also. And in groundnut, the issue of aflatoxin. So we thought let the startups in this category also come. And when we selected 100 startups, we got some of the startups who are working in this area. And the acceleration program is going to be concluded, and we are concluding this on 18th, 19th, and 20th June at Mandapam. One day will be for the investors meet, one day will be for the buyer-seller meet. So we will be continuing this process. The second lot of 100 startups, we will again come up with the process will be initiated. So this is one of the initiatives which we have taken in case of this startup providing support. Second, basically, we are in a process of diversification of product and diversification of country also, which we have initiated. When we say diversification, identifying new products which has now not come till now up to the forefront. So from some areas, for example, just to take Assam lemon, which have a unique characteristic, dragon fruit. So such type of products we have identified. Cherries from Kashmir. So we have tried to organize the supply chain, got success partially, not fully. And we tried to organize the flag off of these products. The idea is to just to lay down the road that it is possible. So after flagging off the shipment, at least the industry gets confidence that this is the product they can also venture. Though a lot of difficulties come in the process. So this is for the first part of the question. Second is, APIDA has initiated basically development of product funds. For example, Basmati Export Development Fund was already there. So we have a developed fund similarly for non-Basmati rice export also. In case of meat, also meat development fund we have set up. Now, let me tell why there was a need for setting up the development fund. Because when we talk about exports, the lot of money is required for generic promotion, and we cannot depend on the government fund for this purpose, because suppose if you have to organize promotional activities in 20 to 30 countries, and we look after 700 plus products, so it is not, because the huge requirement will be there. So with this fund, which is the fund which is created with the support of the exporters, so in that they will be the custodian of that fund, and they will propose that in these countries there is a need for taking a delegation, there is a need for organizing a buyer-seller meet or a reverse buyer-seller meet, or we need to have a country pavilion, suppose for example in Gulf food or in Sial, Paris. We want to portray image of Indian buffalo meat. So we can have an Indian meat pavilion there. So we will not be depending on the contribution from the government side. So at least this fund has been created for carrying out the promotional activities. So this is one of the initiatives which we have recently taken.
Very, very powerful, sir. I think which clearly indicates the self-sustainability of some of the initiatives which are being driven by the private sector, and government always become the facilitator of those initiatives as we go forward. Great to see that contribution from APIDA, and I'll not take much of your time, Dr. Sudhanshu, for giving this piece of information to all the participants. Now back to IACC team to probably we can move in case I don't think that we have anyone in the session 1, so we can move to the session 2 in case all the panelists are there. Thank you. Thank you very much to ICC, and thank you all the participants for joining in. Now we are into 4th Agro Summit, and we have a great panel today. I'll just brief everyone on the panel. So we have Mr. P. Sudhir Kumar from Frick, Mr. Avin Agarwal from Haldiram, Mr. Yogesh Mohite from Bear, Mr. Vivekananda from Ice Make. We also have Mr. Vinay Khungar from Hire. So this is the team we have, and I'm very happy to see the team. It's a mix of industry. We have from input ecosystem. We have people from refrigeration side. We have from cold chain ecosystem as well. So it's a great ecosystem which has been there, and I would encourage all those who are listening and those who are actually also participating, starting from 3 o'clock session, which was started with the opening remarks of Catherine and chief guest Dr. Sudhanshu and so many others. So you can give your thoughts, give your questions on the chat, and we would definitely would like to ask those questions from our panelists today. So with this opportunity in place, I would really request if every panel to, while they will start the communication, as I'm going to ask certain questions, do introduce in detail about yourself, because that's a very brief introduction I have given, and also very briefly about your firm as well. So that would really help all the audiences to probably get to know more about you and the firm. We would really request, and we'll start from Mr. Yogesh Mohite from Bayer. Yogesh ji, and why I picked you, because of obvious reasons, the kind of ecosystem which currently is pursuing from the perspective of geopolitical issues. And, every second day we are reading in the newspaper that agro input cost has been really hiked like anything. The fertilizer cost, pesticides, insecticides, government really has to tender it out, undertook certain tough decision, and it was very clear that whole cost has increased by double, almost 2x. Probably it is being landed. How you as an industry, and probably I understand you have been managing South Asia, how you have been looking at this particular space, and as an industrialist, how this is going to really impact our farmers also. So with this question, I would like to start. Over to you, Yogesh ji, please.
Chirag, thank you so much for the question. I just joined. So hello everyone, happy to be here. So first and foremost, let's be very clear that whatever question Chirag has put, this is the reality now. I mean, 2 months or a couple of months back, the war situation evolved. That time we were not expecting that the impact will be so high. But after 2 months, 3 months, it is very clearly a reality. We are actually seeing the price increase. And so far, let's say from February to May, these are not the very core months in terms of agriculture input consumption. The main season will start from June, July onwards. So the impact at the farmer level will be seen now onwards. Now, there are very, very clear reasons. I don't need to go into the reasons behind that. And if I have to talk particularly from agrochemical point of view, I mean, most of the active ingredient, most of the inert material, they are related to the oil. I mean, many of them, they are the byproduct from the oil. So there's a direct relation of the war situation on that. And then indirectly, it has impacted on the logistic costs, energy production cost, the travel insurance cost for the money, and also the supply issue. And because of the supply constraint, the price has gone up. So this is the reality. We will have to accept that. Now, how we are going to, handle this situation? So from grower point of view, I mean, different organizations are doing their best First, to ensure that the supply is there, because that is critical. From the production season point of view, it is important that the inputs are available, the good quality fertilizer as well as the plant protection products are also available. So that is primarily from different companies they are handling. I would like to couple of points from the grower point of view and how grower are going to handle this situation. So moreover, along with the war situation, the price input cost factor, we also have a challenge about the monsoon situation. Okay, this is the El Nino is going to have some impact. At least that's the forecast. I think first important thing will be to monitor the overall situation. We really need to be well aware about the situation and then respond to the situation, how the situation evolved, because particularly the monsoon related situation is the forecast at the overall level. It will be very much different when it comes to the localized geography. So first and foremost, we really need to be well aware and monitor. Second, I think it is expected that growers balance out the thing. So one side, we want to control the cost. So the relevant inputs, which are kind of, let's say, must for the ensuring the production, we need to use. But at the same time, we also need not be compromised. So always, let's not only look at the cost from cost point of view, but then the kind of concept of ROI, what we talk. If I invest 1 rupee, how much I'm getting, and accordingly, he will have to take the decision when it comes to the investing for his farm this year. So that balance is very, very important. Third is, as far as possible, if he's able to diversify the risk, that will be really supportive. Like rather than going out all the, let's say, one crop or two type of crop, he's able to diversify the crop and grow for multiple cropping. That will also be helpful. And I think one of the aspect in terms of, again, everything has to come together. So this is where the whole ecosystem, including advisory, the digital reach for the grower will also come into the picture. So I don't think there's a one answer, clear answer that this will help you to mitigate the risk because of the price increase. But it will have to be the holistic approach from all the related stakeholders, keeping our grower at the center and supporting him in the best possible way will help us to mitigate the situation.
Absolutely. I think grower at the forefront would be very, very useful. And, I think they're the most impacted because of the El Nino and the whole situation which is currently arising in around GCC countries. Thank you for those inputs. Now I would like to move to Mr. Vivekanandan R from IceMake, and it's been pleasure to see you here, sir. And very particular question, right, in terms of how a manufacturing unit, because IceMake, we understand, they have been a supplier to cold chain ecosystem, and how you see that, you're building something which is relevant for FPOs, because FPO is a very promising term now, and government has a significant focus to really evolve the whole journey of farmer, and FPO is one of the promising step as we go forward. So how you see that, you are building solutions which are relevant for a small farmer or a FPO? Would you like to give some cases around it? Sir, you're on mute, sir. We can't hear you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Chirag. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And IceMake, we do IceMake is basically a complete cold chain company. Okay. And we start from right from modular cold room to a larger cold storage project, including the transport, refrigeration, and we have dairy equipments and kind of chest freezers, all this thing. And considering coming to the individual farmers and for FPOs, we focus on a special design of solar powered cold storage. This can be used in remote locations where we have a power issue, and the capacity could be varying from 5 metric ton for a small farmer, individual farmer, and for a medium size FPO can be a larger capacity up to 25 to 50 metric ton, and for a larger FPO we can have something like 100 metric ton capacity. So this is possible the multiple systems of power operational, okay, with the direct current system, also with the solar system, we can operate this. Apart from this, we also provide small pack houses and village levels, what you call the sorting and grading packing houses can be supported. That can be added with the cold storage facility, can really give a value added to the fresh producers. Yeah, apart from this, we have this can help to bring in a lot of other processing facilities close to the produce centers.
So how do you see that, when you say FPO's solar power cold store,
Yeah,
how the whole business is, really making some sense for you as a business unit? Is it really a significant in chunk, or it is too less, even to count it as a part of business?
it is basically what happens is this is for individual farmer, it is little expensive, as it cost about the prices between 16 to 20 lakhs for a 5 metric tons solar powered cold room. Whereas the government provides, like, if they go through a government assistance, government funding, government loans, okay, it is definitely affordable. The government provides subsidy up to 50%. More than an individual farmer who comes and procures this particular product, solar powered cold storage, it is we approach through a system, through a government system, government nodal agencies like Department of Agriculture or Department of Horticulture. We request them, and then they find points of place where they can promote this product, or they can give as a contribution to the concerned society. The places like remote locations where they have no easy access to those horticultural produce or agricultural produce, they have to either travel long distance to the processing centers. They have to bring in from a place called the remote very good producers, but they have to travel long distance. Rather, this all can be located at the regional, at their local places, like where the produce happens. Okay, it can be located there. So this gives a lot of advantages to them, and the government, maybe we have done with quite a few governments, like West Bengal government and also Tamil Nadu state government. Few governments have come forward to procure in lots this solar powered cold rooms. They are buying in lots and provided to the concerned FUOs and groups. That really helps them a lot to have a good earnings on their fresh produce, and get some advantages on the fundings.
Absolutely. I think much useful. Now I'll move to Mr. Sudhir Kumar from Frick. And Mr. Sudhir, if you're here, so I'm sure you have seen, sir, you have seen the whole journey of the whole ecosystem of cold chain, and I understand that what fellow colleague Mr. Vivekananda was trying to talk about, that we have a small storages, but the cost is high, and so on and so forth. And what do you see that before COVID, after COVID, is it really trending, the cold chain ecosystem? Are people preferring something to have a decentralized storages or centralized storages, and the whole consumption trend probably has been increased, or is it more like a stable ecosystem which you have, or probably there is something else which you would like to share with the
It
audience?
depends. Thank you, Chirag, for this opportunity. But I would really appreciate your question, because COVID has awakened us, everybody, like the use of cold chain. Previously, people were using a lot of fresh products, but cold chain management, even though you will be surprised to note that India has got volume wise one of the biggest volume of cold storages for positive temperatures, but predominantly we store only potatoes. Like if you take cold storages out of 100, there will be 90 cold storages which are designed for potatoes. Whereas internationally, it is the negative temperature cold store, food processed foods which are kept in the cold storages and used by the consumers. So this trend has changed after the COVID. Definitely, the negative cold storages are increasing more. People started using all the non-veg products also from a cold chain. Like even for example, I don't mind saying that chicken, previously everybody used to go and buy it from the roadside shop, cut the chicken fresh and take it. But now you find a lot of people buying chilled chicken and other products through cold chain, which are kept through cold chain. So certain products have improved the cold chain thing, but India has had a steady growth of cold chain because the government has got so many incentives, subsidies. Ministry of Food Processing has given a lot of subsidies. So cold chain has been steady growth, but still, in every seminar for the last 30 years I go, I hear the post-harvest losses are 30%, 35%, which has not improved thing. But I would like to identify every country has a post-harvest losses, but it has 15% or 18% post-harvest losses. But that is mainly due to after the shelf life. But in India, it is happening during like packaging, transportation. There itself, we lose 10%. In the abroad countries, it happens like after the shelf life, the market, if it gets rotten, then it gets wasted. That's the post-harvest waste. But in India, we do it. How do you pluck a fruit? How do you transport a fruit? There itself, we are losing a lot of things. So even though we have sufficient infrastructure of cold chain, but still we lag behind in packaging, transportation, how to handle the fruits. Because nowadays, if you go to any like organized retail shops, you will only find apples which have come from abroad. You'll find a Chile apple, or you'll find a China apple, or you'll find some other XY country. Even from the US, you will find apples coming to India. Whereas India is also producing so many apples varieties, but you don't get Indian varieties because they don't use refrigerated transport to transport apples from even Kashmir to Chennai. It comes in the normal wooden boxes with hay and etc. So that is where we have to improve. Even though the COVID has brought us more, but we still have a long way to go ahead. With the government initiatives, we will definitely catch up in this. Thank you, Chirag.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I would really value to what Frick is doing, what Ice Make is doing, and so many others in that ecosystem for making that change. We have seen that change in certain commodities. We can still get Indian apples at this point of time also, just because you created something, obviously with direction of government, so which was not the case earlier. So I think great contribution by the cold chain players in that ecosystem. Now I'll definitely come to a win, and I'll probably put you on the spot on on probably a candid round. And how has been the story uh, before investment and after investment, Avin? So we would really like to understand that pace, because
So
that investment which
let me
has
go
come.
one step back and let me give
Yeah, yeah.
applause
You
to
can have
Frick
your own
and
time.
Ice Make because we have been working closely with them for our refrigeration partnership. So my entry into the business was through frozen foods, fortunately, and I've been very close to it since last 14 years, going through brick and mortar store and going through each and every loop, hoop which has been there. So that being said, post investment or before investment, it really hasn't made any difference to us. We are still managing the company the way a company is supposed to be managed. Still working hard every single day to make sure there are zero food losses. We are trying to give the best we can to society in general, and at the same time ensure our product is of the highest value to the consumer. Today, I think food, unfortunately, has become so expensive in India. And I truly believe that is because of the losses which we are sustaining. The food isn't this expensive. The entire ecosystem, the loss cost itself is being added to everything. Every stage, there is a loss which adds to the cost. The overall cost can be reduced much further we all join hands together and work towards it. But that being said, every single day we are still working on new technologies. We travel a lot. We talk to every possible person on this planet regarding food conservation. We talk to them regarding how to improve the food quality in general, how to improve the seed qualities, how to make sure that we are a self-sustaining economy and more of export driven than import driven for at least food requirements because we have everything being produced over here. So I think the path to self-sufficiency in terms of food growth is much required, and thankfully all the partners over here. And I would like to thank Dr. Sudhanshu also because initially when we started exporting, it was through help of EPEDA that we got here where we have gotten. They have always been a support system to us. So I mean, if you want, I can add whatever you want, but then this is what in a nutshell I feel.
No, absolutely. I really agree to this. And the whole growth journey, which I'm sure everyone of us, would have seen, is, there is some contribution or facilitation from the government which has come in. But, just top up on that, Avin, I don't want you to leave you like that. But what are a lot of people are listening this. And what are the areas you believe are the investment stories in the next 10 years for the country? If I am the startup guy, if I have to think something, what are the areas in this sector which people should
Identify the smaller problems which we are facing. Like we are discussing a huge topic over here. I'm sure you can find out 20 different startups who can work in the similar field and find efficiency in doing that. Transportation has been an issue, and every day we face it. The fuel costs are rising. Obviously, there are certain things which you cannot control, and there are things which you can. I think the most important would be to make sure the transportation happens, whether it's at an inflated cost or a deflated cost, rather than the food going to waste. And that is one part of the story. But then, apart from that, we can always look at AI. Everyone thinks is something else, but I feel it's the biggest tool to our advantage. You have someone processing knowledge at an incredible speed. So why not utilize it as a tool and make sure that the entire ecosystem works towards going to self-sufficiency? So that is one part of the story. But then totally believe in brick and mortar side of business. I believe that that is business to stay and to grow. So that is one part where everyone should work towards as well.
No, absolutely. I think this is a very important point in terms of logistics and some of the point which you said that, AI as a tool, I think more investments are going towards that compared to, any other investments in
But then
across the industry,
it
across the
should be
globe.
an investment which is solving a problem, not just an investment to create a tool.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure every large company or probably mid-level company is, looking forward for the same.
I think
Uh,
I'm sorry to take another second of yours. I think the startups are the biggest beneficiaries of this.
yes.
It's easy to create a business plan these days than it was 10 years back. None of the people knew what to do with it. And today you can create a business plan and check your efficiencies on it.
Yeah, consulting professionals need to be more careful now. Absolutely. So I'll move to Mr. Vinay now, and I'm sure Sir has been smiling for almost quite some time, and I'll just take him along, and what probably Avin has left, and I'll pick you from there on the AI and automation. How you see that story, sir, in this industry, in the sector? I'm sure because this is an emerging ecosystem. It's not something which is almost settled. At least this space of the industry. Uh, how you see that you are getting benefited, or you are still need to see that phase of AI and automation to play a role?
Okay, thank you, Chirag. Let me introduce first. Okay, currently I am representing Hire. I'm the Senior Vice President for Hire Appliances India. This is erstwhile Carrier Commercial Refrigeration because all of you would have heard the name Carrier Commercial Refrigeration. So this business from Carrier has been taken over by Hire. So currently I am representing Hire, but this is a erstwhile Carrier Commercial Refrigeration business. Okay. Uh, my colleague, if you look at Sudhir, touched upon food wastage, and he was also talking about some of the imported fruits, vegetables coming into India. So before I come to the artificial intelligence, I'll just like to add on that point. Okay. We did a study, Sudhir, just for your knowledge, and you would be aware of. Yes, the fruits are coming, apple is coming from outside India and it is sold at a higher rate. However, we did a study with one of the fruits which is grown in a small town of India, which is Punjab, which is Kinu. And this Kinu actually was not exported at all. This was not even going beyond Punjab, that belt at all. So what we did is we did a study and we made a complete cold chain for that. And today the shelf life, which was earlier 1.5 months, that has gone up to 6 months, and that is being exported also. That is also going to maybe South India and other regions also. So if we are able to develop that cold chain in India, like we have done for others also together, all of us experts here on the call will definitely make India a better country, and we don't need to import fruits and vegetables, because like you rightly said, India is one of the biggest producers. Okay. So we are working on that, all of us together, and maybe moving forward also we'll work on that. Coming on the point, which is artificial intelligence, I'll definitely touch upon that because this is a hot topic right now. Every industry is talking about the artificial intelligence and the automation. What are they doing? Okay, they are actually taking care of some of the challenges which we all spoke about. They are taking care of the food wastage. Automation is also taking care of the power consumption part. They are also taking care of some of the uptime. They are also taking care of maintaining the temperature and the right quality of food. Okay, so these are some of the challenges which are being addressed by artificial intelligence. If you look at, they reduce the food wastage and helping the engineers solve the complex problems which we are facing today, and they can build up the reports which are required by any of the customers. They, if you look at right now, the refrigeration industry, it consumes almost like more than 50% of the power. So it is the most consuming power, and that is hitting every customer. And Haldiram, when we talk of Haldiram, they would also face the same challenges they would be facing. Okay, we are definitely addressing Haldiram also, and we are one of the preferred suppliers. But if you look at, more than 50% of the power is consumed by the refrigeration industry, and with these technologies which are coming up with from AI, automation, and all that, we'll be able to reduce the power consumption by more than 30%. That means if the total power consumption is, let's say, 100 for refrigeration, we'll be able to solve 30% of that power consumption problem. And that will actually help us to meet our targets of sustainability. If you also look at the data which needs to be analyzed, which we were earlier doing by all those manual softwares or maybe Excel sheets or whatever, these are being solved now within seconds by this AI. So the controllers are there, the sensors are there, they take care of all the irregularities of some of the important components, the indicators of gas leakages which are happening. So these give us a clear picture today. The engineers, they perform the targets, they preserve, they maintain the systems, and the cost is being reduced today, which is power consumption cost, which is maintenance cost, which is other things which are taken care. So overall, if you look at, they are transforming the entire refrigeration industry by shifting operations from reactive troubleshooting to proactive management. So when I'm using the word management, means overall management. Okay. So those are the tools which are required today, and we are moving ahead with this.
Absolutely. I think, some of those tools we would definitely would like to understand in the subsequent conversations. And now I'll move again back to our panelists and to Mr. Yogesh back. And, we would really like to understand from the ecosystem perspective, sir. And, and we have seen that horticulture has surpassed agriculture production last to last year. and the per capita consumption in horticulture sector has been rising much ahead than, probably there is a degrowth in cereals, but there is a positive intent from the horticulture consumption standpoint. So how Bayer see this as an opportunity? Point number one. And also, what are the, because innovation is an important theme of what we are discussing today, how you are bringing an innovation and to really capture this horticulture opportunity through climate resilience ecosystem.
Yeah. Thanks, Chirag. So you started with the right note. I mean, today we are the second largest producer of horticulture crop. We have surpassed the cereal or field crop production. Now, this is the good part. I mean, we really feel proud and privileged about this part. But if you go into, let's say, one level deeper, and then one of the major reasons for this is the geographical area we have. That is where the overall production is high. If you go into a level deep and see at the crop level or geography level, then we see some opportunity to grow. And when I say, I mean, if you compare for different crops, the productivity, what we have compared to some other countries, and then we see that we have the opportunity to increase the productivity. Now, from a farmer point of view, each and every stakeholder who is associated with the growers will try to support him with the products, with the innovation or inputs what they have. Today, I think there is a clear need that from grower point of view, we see a shift from, let's say, individual product to the whole system. So he need not just look at individual input or the product, but he really need the holistic of input, advisory, market linkages, finance, so many things. I mean, whatever is required to make him more productive, that is what it requires. So very clearly, one thing which we see from farmer point of view, from grower point of view, is that the shift from individual input to the whole system thinking. Now, what we are doing, and there are a couple of initiatives which we have taken in this direction. So we have a concept. I mean, we call it as the better life farming. It is primarily targeted at smallholder. And again, it is a collaborative initiative with Yara, Netafim, IFC. What we are doing is that we are encouraging the village level entrepreneurs to come forward, and we are supporting them with not only with the inputs, but complete advisory, all the relevant stakeholder support. And it is not just the advisory, but we are actually helping them to reach out to the growers by showcasing all the inputs, how holistically, when you use it together, how it will benefit for the grower. So these are actually demonstrations which we are doing. We also have a concept where we are working with more than almost 50 partners across food value chain. We call it as a food value chain partnership. Now here again, starting right at the grower level, but then ensuring up to the market linkages part of it. So a complete presence across the value chain is what we are doing. The third, in terms of inputs, again, particularly from horticulture point of view, it's not only the crop protection inputs, but we have our vegetable seed division, which basically comes out with all the innovative hybrids for different crops, which will ensure that there is an improvement in quality for the vegetables, higher productivity for the growers. So these are some of the interventions what we are doing. But besides that, I mean, there are two areas which I see are very, very important from the horticulture grower point of view. Now, one thing in terms of opportunities that we have a high production, but at the same time, I think there is a need from the consumption point of view. You mentioned about per capita consumption is increasing, but I think serious efforts need to be put in where we talk about the nutritious food health, which will help to increase the consumption of the fruits and vegetables. And the last part is regarding the opportunity in terms of export. We have one classical success story of grape, okay? One of the fresh commodity which is exported to Europe and many countries. Can we use this as a role model success story and replicate for other crops. We have not seen this happening for many other crops. So this is the clearly one opportunity I see, that production is there, but can we also explore the market? Thank you.
So when you say export, so it means that, our commodities are across the globe. Is that what you mean to say? Because we are only sending almost, only 1 to 2% of the total horticulture trade, uh, is being, whatever we produce, we are only able to sell that. So it means globally our product should be visible. Is that the opportunity you're talking about?
Absolutely. That's the clearly opportunity. Same applies for the processing as well.
Right.
Whatever
And
we are,
I'll just put you on the spot because, there is a lot of, and, I'm sorry, I'll just bring in someone like Mr. Sudhir Kumar here because you put a very important point. And Sudhir Kumarji, because we heard that we don't have a C protocols, right? The moment I send banana from here beyond Gulf, it doesn't survive. So, how you, and I'm sure if Sudhanshu sir is here, how you are, bringing those technology levers and, bringing some of the methodologies and the processes which, Costa Rica has and some of the other countries has to ensure that, our banana can really be available to beyond Gulf and, to some of the European nations as well.
Chiragji, I'm there. I have just come back. I was on another meeting. So I have just come back. I would like to just, if you can repeat, if I have to.
This is a question, which has come in, and this is a, what probably we have been discussing with Mr. Yogesh, that, how we can really have our ecosystem visible in the global palettes. And you have been doing a great work in some of the pieces, but C protocols are the important levers, and, how we can have our bananas beyond Gulf. Do we have enough C protocols available or being developed? And how we can, how the industry can use those protocols, because that's also important. So we would like to have certain views from you also in this, is this case relevant? And, then, from you, then I'll move to Sudhir ji directly on the same question, whether have they contributed or, how the cold chain teams are contributing towards this.
Thanks, Chiragji. Very valid and important question. In the horticulture basket of the country, we are able to export a few products in good quantity. But the only bottleneck is this, that we are able to export majorly by air. And by air, we know the logistic, due to the high logistic cost, there is a limitation. For example, in case of Indian mangoes, a very good demand is there in the US market. And the export is happening only by air, because by sea, we cannot send it to the long distance market, whether it is US or Canada or CIS region, Europe. We are only able to ship to the neighboring countries. Though we have been collaborating with the R&D institutions in India for development of C protocol, and we understand that it is not a robotic science. It is just a combination of that at what maturity index the produce is to be harvested, depending on the voyage time. How much is the voyage time, and the basically cold chain to be maintained. So we have got partial success with CISH Lucknow. We are in a process of finalizing the C protocol for mangoes. In case of pomegranates, we have done with NRC Sholapur. In case of banana, also we tried with CISH and we were able to ship it to Netherlands and Russia also. Now we are in a process of working with NRC banana also. Though partial success has been achieved. Once we are able to have C protocol for our horticulture produce, then we will be able to send huge quantity by sea, because that will be container load. Rather, a pallet of 100 kg, 200 kg, 300 kg by air. Or in case of mangoes in the US, we have been continuously receiving demand from that. Even the Indian diaspora is not able to have sufficient quantity of mangoes, because the moment it reaches, and you might have gone through the social media also, the number of messages have been flashed. The moment the boxes reaches there is a queue. There are people want to have Indian mangoes. So we are working on this C protocol. Though we have asked our startups also, who we are in a process of nurturing, if any of the startup can come forward and finalize a protocol, at least for the potential products. Potential products mainly the mango, banana is there. Banana is the largest international global trade for banana. And banana, we have our strength in the country from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, and we have different varieties of banana in the country.
So I'll just pick this particular point and maybe, a guidance. Buffalo milk was not being available in Gulf. I'm talking about the fresh milk. And Amul, with some of their partners, they developed the whole story and did a pilot, which is a fresh milk, it's a 4.5 days journey. And they need to procure something just next to the JNPT port and then transit and so on and so forth. The whole packs came from, there is some global country which decided and, put that back. There was an insurance company, but it's an investment, sir. It's a real investment to have those pilots. And I'm sure, some of the people on the call and may work with APIDA and, do this pilot, but industry and corporate has to really come and, make those investments to have those things in place. And I'm sure it will be a workable ecosystem.
No, very true. I fully agree, because this sector really requires investment. This sector requires the companies who have the financial bandwidth.
Yeah.
The financial muscle is required. So the private sector definitely needs to come forward. And I recall one of the success story in export of banana only. And we never thought that we will be successful. But if you see a few years back, I think it's a journey of last 10 years only. The way we have got progress in banana, and it was from a private sector only. Might be aware that Mr. Desai Fruits and Vegetables, the way they took scientists from Philippines, worked backward, developed a cluster in Gujarat, especially in this Navsari region. And then the same was replicated in Anandpur, in other parts of the country. Similarly, in the case of pineapple also, some of the initiatives from the private sector are being done. So I think private sector needs to come forward, collaborate with the government, and definitely the success stories can be created.
Perfect. I'll bring Mr. Sudhir over here. Sudhirji, over to you. How you believe, this is churning out. So you're on mute, sorry. Sudhirji, you're on mute, if I can see. Sudhirji, we can't hear you.
Sorry. That's what Dr. Sudhanshu has definitely shed his light on. Thing. Basically, it requires a lot of investment, research activities, and people need to take some risk for transporting. And because banana, as he said, they transported up to Netherlands, because it may not have that much of a shelf life with the normal reefer containers. You need special containers like a ripening chamber. You'll have to rightly said, you have to cut at what maturity and how many days of shelf life you can have, delay the ripening of the fruit. But for some other fruits, they have tried it in containers, and it is working out to the level. But as Dr. Sudhanshu said, it's mostly our horticulture products are going through air only, because the shelf life is, at least the freshness of that gets a little bit deteriorated if it goes through sea, except for certain fruits like fruits, berries, like apples, berries, oranges also can be transported, and even you can transport pomegranates, blueberries, pears. These all can be transported, but certain fruits cannot be transported. Like banana is again a very critical thing, and plus the amount of you spend on the container transportation to take it to Netherlands, maybe your cost effectiveness is not there. That is the major issue, because there are competing nations like say Brazil or some other country can move it faster to those countries and can do. Even grapes, I heard we are exporting mainly through air only. We are able to send it to Europe by air only, not through sea containers. We tried it through sea, but it was not working out well. So I think we need to put in a lot of investment and study how it is done internationally and to transport. But majority long storage items can be sent through sea containers.
Just would like to, if you, Chirag ji, you allow, just for the correcting one. In case of horticulture, only grapes is we are able to ship by sea. Because the cold treatment is there, we have been successful, and the grape has been the success story in the Indian horticulture basket. Absolutely. So, in the grape season, if anyone can have a chance to go to Mumbai to Nasik Road, the whole road is full of containers. Thousands of containers are shipped via JNPT. And why I'm saying grape has been a success story, because the reason being there was a crisis in the year 2006-07, and residue monitoring protocol was developed. Then it was made IT enabled, and the first traceability system from the country was grounded there. Just for the knowledge of all the participants. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'll just bring Avin here. And Avin, this is the moment where, we have industry, we have government, and we would like to hear from you how industry and government can work together and better. And
Thank you
which
so
will
much,
really
and thank you, sir, for all your support, Dr. Sudhanshu. Sir, at the same time, I would like to point out that exporting is a very difficult job when it comes to acceptability in other countries. Every country has a very different law, every country has a very different protection. We were talking about buffalo milk a couple of minutes back. And unfortunate to say that, export to Canada, export to Australia, export to certain part of Europe has been very difficult for milk products. I think this is where we require government support in order to get our products rightly registered to begin with, and clear the conception in people's mind that, if something is coming from India, it's of low quality. In fact, proudly to say that we produce highest quality of food in the world. And it's very unfortunate that we are looked down upon for the same. At the same time, yes, every day is a struggle when it comes to making sure the food is a better shelf life. And every day we work towards it. We export a lot of samosas, we export a lot of naan, apart from the dry products I'm talking, which are on normal chain, but then these are cold chain products. So we do a lot of that, but there is a lag. There is, due to the circumstances, you don't get containers. There is little bit of efforts which need to put into the place, but we are getting there, I feel.
Absolutely. And I'm sure, Sudhanshu sir, if you wanted to add something to this point.
I would just like to add what Avin has said. And Avin, thank you very much for acknowledging the efforts. I heard you acknowledge about the support by APIDA, though we are supposed to provide all support, though there are limitations also. But I think Haldiram had definitely, not to praise on the front of his face, the way they have grounded the brand, and starting from sweets to ready to eat and a number of products, and they keep on doing innovations, R&D also. I think this is the sector which really has so much of potential. Lot of innovation can happen, and the kind of prospects in terms of the ready to eat product or ready to RTC category, which is ready to cook product, or which is RTS, which is ready to serve beverages. Lot of potentials are there. And fortunately, we have all raw material, we have the technology, we have the manpower. So it has to be a combination of all, which can help definitely. When I cited the example of millet, how we have been successful in a period of 1 year by developing the products from millet, like millet pasta and up to the millet ice cream also, and the millet milk also. So I think industry should work together with all these stakeholders. Definitely we can develop beautiful products. And not only, I will say, not only for the global market, but for our domestic market also. We as a citizen also deserve for good food products and the safe food products. Whenever at various forums, we talk about quality. So I say the quality is only not required for global market. As a citizen, also we require good quality products in the country.
I second that with you completely, sir. In fact, that is my starting of speech every morning to my plant team, that make most superior quality products in the world and serve it to the people who understands our product rather than thinking what should we export about.
Yes, very true, very true.
Absolutely. We'll go to Mr. Vivekanand now. And Vivekanji, and industry, you have seen that, the growth journey with government incentives also. So what is your take? How the government incentives are boosting the cold chain ecosystem in the country?
Actually, like about last 10 years plus, the cold chain industry is growing in a very, very long, very, very the best way possible, actually. Like 10 years before or 15 years before, we could see some very limited number of projects comes in the cold storage segment or cold chain segment. Very, very limited, only to preserve certain products like potatoes or onions, or sorry, potatoes or chilies and some of the tamarind products. These are the traditional products getting stored, and very limited projects were coming in. But after the incentive schemes sponsored by Ministry of Agriculture or from Ministry of Food Processing Industry, I think there has been a tremendous growth that has happened last 10 years plus in various products, different products, right? From whether it is apples, we have a lot of CA cold stores coming up in J&K, or in potatoes in the belts of UP and Gujarat. And in terms of tamarind or red chilies in southern states like AP and Tamil Nadu. And throughout India, this has been seen, okay, in terms of the bad products getting preserved, stored for long life of the products for spanning between 6 to 8 months or 10 months period. Subsequently, the growth has happened towards the food processing industry, whether it is processed food or create something like from mango to mango pulp, tomato to puree, and packed foods, convenient foods, and ready to serve, ready to eat, or ready to cook segments have gone a long way. I think it's at a very, very fantastic way, actually. I think this growth will sustain for definitely it's going to happen on a longer period of time. So the growth,
Yes.
the growth has really happened with the government funding or government incentives, or what do you call the interest-free subsidies or low interest subsidies, or whatever it is. What are the different schemes available with the state governments, central governments, has really created a lot of opportunities in this segment. The farmers have benefited. All the people work or related to this particular segment are benefited. Even the consumers are benefited with the quality product. So this is a lot of change has happened in the industry, actually. There is more potential to happen in this segment, actually.
Thank you, Mr. Vivekanand. I think very useful that, how government has really pushed that growth, which was probably being left out almost 70, 80 years from independence. And this push has really helped almost in terms of reducing
Every
losses.
state you can see the products available in the respective states have been has been really processed or really used, and it has brought down the losses, product wastages or losses. It has really brought down actually. So there has been with good improvement on this side, actually.
I think losses, additionally, the availability, the most important piece is availability. And I'm sure a lot of
also it has helped
analysts would agree. The availability of so many products across throughout the year, which otherwise would have been imported. So it's a great contribution.
In fact, this has helped indirectly the production of agricultural area. That is also the output of every product has increased. Seeing the motivation, getting produced, getting processed, getting stored. The farmers have increasing. The techniques have been adopted to increase the outputs every year. Year on year, there are outputs are coming up. So that requires huge demand of facilities backed up by the government subsidies. So this is going in a very, the chain way. It's helping, cascading way, helping each other.
Perfect. I'll move to Mr. Vinay now. And I think Vinayji, a larger point we would like to really bring to you because it's about environment, and we wanted to really. This is the last question I would like to ask, and because environment is a foremost important piece, and today being Environment Day as well. How you, as a company, from career to hire, what contribution you are making towards as a cold chain partner towards the ecosystem around environment, be it the emissions reduction in the power usage or GHG emission, or maybe the technology freon ammonia, so many. So how you are really working around this to ensure that you are contributing to the sustainability part of it?
Good, Chirag. This is again related to the same question, earlier question which we answered. But before I go to that, just for everyone's knowledge, there is a company now by the name of Conservation. Okay, and the brand is Bione. So for the banana part, when we were discussing, so there is an innovation which has already happened, and this company, which is a Spain company, they are actually delaying the ripening part. So now banana can be exported to different countries, and the testing is already going on with this brand. What they are doing is actually they are putting some sachets in the overall container, or maybe in some of the trucks and all that, or in the cold rooms also. Wherever we want to delay the ripening part, this sachet which is there, which absorbs the ethylene gas, this delays it. So now with the time, with these innovations which are happening moving forward, we'll see that all these fruits and vegetables can be exported to different countries, and the ripening will get delayed. So Dr. Sudhanshu, maybe this is one of the innovation which has already been launched in India. This happened some 7 to 10 days back when the ASHRAE president was in India. So this already has been launched in India, and this is a Spain organization which is already doing this in other countries outside India, and now they have already introduced in India. They are actually doing the complete testing with some of the cold chain companies like us. So like you said, the companies, private companies have to actually come forward. So we are as higher, and like I said, we are earlier carrier commercial appreciation. We are also testing these. Okay, so that if this is a success, which they claim is outside India is a big success, we will be actually moving ahead with this, and we will be supplying these sachets to our service providers or our installers, so that wherever the over ripening and the food wastage, the banana wastage happens, we'll be able to take care of it.
Thank you very much, Vinayji. Chiragji, if you allow, I would like to just respond to it.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, Vinayji, and I'm really glad. I also heard about this. This is a good development, and this is really required. This kind of collaboration of private sector, and I'm confident that this can very well play a role. Please do be in touch with us. We would like to understand this project, and we will connect to our banana exporters. And in case of banana, I would like to add one thing, that it is not only the fruit part. Banana is the only where all basically the whole plant is utilized. Even banana fiber is being prepared. The apparels from banana are being prepared. So a number of products are being prepared, and I am confident that if banana, the supply chain of production of banana can be organized, this can definitely transform the economy of India. It can be a great contributor in overall perspective.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, sir. And we'll definitely come and meet you.
Sure.
We are also doing this testing part, and maybe we will request if that can be, I mean, in front of you. We'll also try to do that testing part also.
Definitely. Most welcome. Most welcome.
Sure.
We'll definitely collaborate.
Okay. Chirag, now to answer your question. Okay. We spoke about automation. Automation is one tool which is going to save energy for sure. Okay. We are also, as industries, what we are doing is we are working on different technologies also. Our engineers day in, day out are actually working on different technologies of compression. If you look at today in refrigeration, we have the single stage, semi-hermetic compressors, which double stage actually consumes very less power. We have also come out with screw compressor range, Okay, we have installed at number of locations with this screw compressor also with VFDs. Okay, VFDs were earlier only used for HVAC. We are now using for screw compressors also, where we are saving almost like 20% of the power. We are coming out with inverter condensing units in India. Those are being installed at most of the places now. We have DC motors, we have solar systems, and many others to reduce the power consumption. Like I said, 50%, more than 50% is consumed by the refrigeration industry. As engineers, we need to really come out with new technologies, and we are doing that. Also, if you look at refrigeration industry is rapidly now adopting the low GWP, the global warming potential refrigerants. And outside India, as carrier commercial refrigeration or as higher, we are also now working on CO2. So we have already installed 30,000 units of CO2 outside India. Europe is our biggest market. We have already done in China, we have already done in Singapore, we have done in Thailand. We are now going to introduce the CO2 range of products. Okay, and the most advanced and sophisticated in the next 1 to 2 years in India also. So CO2 is basically a natural refrigerant, and we are working on it. Okay, we are outside India, we are the biggest manufacturers for CO2. If you look at all these breakthroughs which I am talking about, or the innovative ideas or the technologies which our engineers are working on, the purpose is very clear. One is the power consumption, reducing the power consumption. Number two is to reduce these greenhouse gas emissions. Okay, every multinational company has a ESG target. The companies which are coming into India, the multinational companies, they have their own ESG targets. They talk about 2050 that we will be uh, zero carbon emission companies, and we'll be meeting our ESG targets, and we are helping those companies to work on that. Outside India, we are already doing in a big scale. Now in India also, we have started working with these MNCs to actually meet their ESG targets, which are 2050. And the reason is very clear. Two reasons. One is to reduce the wastage so that the greenhouse emission gases are not there. If you look at the second one, which is the power consumption, because both these things are required for meeting the ESG standards. Today, we are burning coal in India. We are burning many things to produce the power which is required, and power is the main contributor. So we need to actually reduce that. And our engineers are working on those.
Thank you, sir. I think very useful information around technology. And now we are on the closure of this summit. And thanks to IACC for organizing this. But before we close, do we have any questions from the audiences? Anything which has come up? We can take up that. Otherwise, I'll request IACC to have a vote of thanks.
I'll just I need to say one thing to Vinay's thing. We have started using CO2 refrigeration in India for commercial or even industrial refrigeration, and I think Haldiram, Mr. Avin has started using. We have given a system where the freezers at -40 are running through CO2 system with ammonia as the main refrigerant in the plant room and CO2 as the secondary refrigerant. So it is already functional in many industries in India. So I think what Carrier or Hare is telling is for the supermarket and small cold storages, whereas for industrial applications, we have started using ammonia and CO2 cascade system. So this is the information I wanted to close.
So Sudhirji, one clarification. When I was talking about CO2, this is entirely CO2, not the cascade. So we are talking about
I understand. That's what I'm saying. CO2 is for, you will be doing it for supermarkets. We are doing it for freezing applications.
And we will be doing for commercial refrigeration also, such as food processing industry. So these will be transcritical CO2.
Yeah, that's what, transcritical CO2. Yes. You will be doing it. But we have already started doing CO2 as the low side.
Yes, cascade system.
I think all those information we can catch up probably on one-on-one also. I think, Niluji, any questions on the chat? Do we have to answer, or otherwise we can close with the vote?
Later on. We can forward it to all the speakers later on.
Perfect. So, a vote of thanks. I'm happy if someone from IACC can give that. Thank you.
Today, sir, I would request you to give the vote of thanks.
Myself?
Yeah.
Okay. thank you all. I would like to once again thank Dr. Sudhanshu for taking time off his busy schedule and to give us insights into various ways in which Apida is helping us in exporting of various products, and also asking us to participate, private sector to participate. And then I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Chirag Jain, who wonderfully moderated this session, and his questions were very relevant to the participants. And I like to thank Mr. Avin Agarwal, Mr. Vinay, Mr. Yogesh, and Mr. Vivekanandan for participating in this and giving their insights. And also I thank IACC team members, Neelu and Sangeeta and others, and also Dr. Catherine for spending some of her time and explaining about mangoes and how it is to be exported to the US. Thank you all for a wonderful session. The 4th Agro Summit comes to a close. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.